Yes, and we're live. All right. That was fast. That was a fast countdown. Oh my goodness. Look at that, Jared. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. We are live now on Facebook. And oh my gosh, I'm super excited to have Jared Krebs on the show. Guys, Jared is freaking amazing. I can't wait to share all this amazing stuff that he has for you. Jared Krebs comes to us from Texas, San Antonio, Texas. And he is an online business coach. He's helped many people make money online. And Jared Krebs, those of you who don't know this is a little unknown facts about Jared. He was one of my very first mentors way back when. I'm talking about like, what is it, 2010 that we first met back in the USANA days. And Jared is here to talk to us today about female mentors and how female mentors have impacted his life and then just having mentors in your life overall. So Jared, thank you so much for joining me on Girls Guide to Greatness.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm so glad to be here.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Awesome. You feeling good? You ready to go?
Yeah, 100%. Let's go.
All right, awesome. I'm going to jump right in. So, Jared, first of all, tell the audience a little bit about, I guess, how we met, because I would love to talk about that story for a little bit. If you want to talk to them about how you got me started, because I've come such a long ways, right, from where we met. Oh, that timid little girl who was so scared to get on a phone call to make a sale.
Yep, that's exactly where you were 10 years ago, but you've come so far, and I definitely want to acknowledge that, Rebecca. It's been so great to see you grow, and I mean, what you're doing now, impacting communities with Girls Guide to Greatness and your other businesses and your mentorship and your consulting and making an income online is very inspiring. When I heard you were going to be traveling the world and going to Ireland and all these different countries over the next several years, it just blew my mind. Because I really haven't talked to you in that long, and to see how far you've come, it's just so exciting. So thank you for following your dreams and being a great inspiration to all people, not just ladies, everybody out there, of what's possible when you follow your dreams.
Yes, Jared, I have to tell you, when I was telling Janie Terrazas the other day, right? Because she's actually interviewed both of us on her show. And let me see, she was actually on my podcast not too long ago. But I was actually telling Janie that you were one of my very first mentors that taught me how to actually write a vision. And I will never forget the day in your apartment in San Antonio, Texas. You were literally showing me how to speak it, right? Manifest it, speak it into existence. And that I've carried that along with me all these years. And now I get to teach other people how to do that. How crazy is that?
That is awesome. I had no idea that would impact you the way it did. And clearly
Absolutely.
You're doing it to be where you are. So, and the fact that you're paying it forward and teaching others is very exciting.
Absolutely. So much fun. I love it. And I definitely so appreciative of all the people, you and Ray. There was so many different people in my life at that time that have helped me, like literally put me on a different path, right? A path to success and to manifestation and to attracting what I want out of my life and building and creating the life that I truly desire. And so I don't take it for granted. Absolutely not.
Oh, well, you're very sweet. Very, very sweet. And thank you again for your acknowledgement. And yeah, I'm excited to share, especially on this Girls Guide to Greatness, a little bit of, I guess, my female mentors. And,
Yes.
along my journey, I've been in business now for 15 years. And I've had a lot of great females that have literally like guided me to success. And I really want to give a shout out to a few of them on this webinar and just all the females watching, your audience really, just to know how much of an impact you're going to have on men in your life, especially if you become that successful woman. Eventually you're going to be mentoring somebody like me, and it's going to make a big impact. So I want to share some of those stories. Is there anything else you want to say before I got my little notes here, so I want to pull them up here and tell y'all a couple stories.
No, jump right in. I want to hear what you have to say. Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's all you.
Let's start with my mom. So my mom, Viola Crebs, she was such an awesome mom. And, there's a lot of mom guilt out there. Mom's feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I didn't feed my kid this or that, or if I don't, I'm a single mom, I don't have a male presence for my kid, or I'm this mom, or every mom, even a married mom, is like, well, I can't do this right. And every mom has mom guilt. And I just wanted to address that for a second, because, really, you are the right mom for your child. You are the right mom for your child. You are exactly the mom that they need. And you are enough, and you can do it. And you don't have to be perfect, and let go of all the mom guilt, and just realize that everybody's in the same boat. Everybody has mom guilt. That's a mom, right? Or what? Or a dad. And the sooner you get rid of that guilt, the better you're going to be a mom for your kid. And so that's kind of like the main thing I want to say about that. And my mom was a tremendous person. She actually died 2 years ago, believe it or not. She got ovarian cancer at the age of 62, and she was gone in like 11 months. She had passed.
I'm so sorry, Jared. Yeah, I
Thank you.
remember that.
Yeah. And growing up, my mom was always there for me, like in all the different ways that a mom can be. And everything from taking care of, my needs, as my nutrition needs, making sure I had good meals to eat, making sure I had nice clothes. I remember my mom used to sew, and she would make me like, like summer shorts when you're like a kid and you have like shorts. She would actually make me like, she met a lady, and she would like get coached on how to make me clothes. Like, I mean, it was just cute,
Wow.
She always put in the effort. Like, I think that's one thing about my mom. Like, I always had a nice birthday. She would always have a nice cake for me. She also took care of things. Like, I could say, Mom, I need your help with this or that, and it would get done. Like, I didn't have to ask a second time. Like, my mom was just on the ball all the time. And then I became a teenager, and I was not a good teenager. Okay, I did things that teenagers do, which is get in trouble. And those of you who are teenagers, I'm sure you're all, you don't do the things I did back in the day, but if you do, your mom's gonna still love you anyways. And my mom did. Some of the things that I did was that got me in trouble. I actually stole my parents' car when I was 14 years old, and I skipped school. And I'm like, me and my friend Cohen, we skipped school, and I was 14. I still remember the day, February 11th, 1994. Okay. And I take my mom's car. I live in Utah at the time, so where I'm from. And I needed to drive the car to the gas station so I could steal cigarettes. Okay. I don't know if I ever told you this, Rebecca, but so I was very good klepto at the time. I was, this is in the 90s when cigarettes were still like not locked up in the plastic thing, so you could literally like, they were like by the candy. I mean, they were like right there. So I could just grab them and put them in. I had my Charlotte Hornets starter jacket. That was the style back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about. Anyway, so my plan was to steal some cigarettes so me and Cohen could have, so we could smoke. And so I'm driving this car, and I've never driven before. Cohen was driving first, and then I'm like, I want to drive. Let me try. And so then I jump in the car and I start driving, and I've never driven, never had any training. I'm 14 years old. A car comes behind me, and I'm like, oh, I better pull into this subdivision so this car can pass me, because I don't want to. I was like snowy, and when I'd never made a turn. I don't know how to turn. I don't know that you hit the brake. I thought, well, I better hit the gas, and I turned. So I went right into like the bricks of when you enter into a subdivision and you hit the bricks, or no, you don't hit the bricks. Don't hit the bricks. But I totaled my parents' car. Okay, at the age of 14, I totaled my parents' car. They didn't know that I smoked. They didn't know that I was skipping school. They didn't know anything. And they were like shocked. And the thing about that time, I think I got grounded for like 4 months. I was literally like, I had to pay restitution. I had to do community service. I had to pay my parents back like the $4,000 or whatever I owed them for their car. I was in huge trouble, okay? This is not the person you probably know today, Rebecca. But that was who I was when I was 14 years old. And so my shout out to all you moms going through some hard times with your kids is that they can come around and they can still be successful and they can still be contributing to their communities and society later on. So keep the faith, keep loving them. And that's what my mom did. You know, I was grounded, but I noticed that my parents continued to love me and they continued to support me. I was grounded for like 4 months. And then over that time is when I picked up the guitar. I started learning the guitar. And I was kind of hanging out with not good friends. And so I was able to kind of get away from those friends a little bit. But the thing I remember the most is that my mom, they bought me a really nice guitar. Like about a year later, they bought me this really nice guitar. And I felt like I wanted that for Christmas, but I didn't really deserve it. Because, you know, I wasn't that, because I had wrecked their car the year earlier. I was working on paying back the restitution. I got a job at Subway, literally making sandwiches. I was the first Jared, okay, first Subway Jared. Yeah. And so, but they still showed me love, you know, and I made a commitment. I was going to quit smoking and I was going to just be a good kid. And I actually did. I actually don't smoke anymore. It was just a teenage phase. And it was just that they kept showing me love, you know, and so that's all you can do as a parent. Funny thing though, later on in life, around the age of 26, I got involved in online business, which I'm still doing. And my parents actually started to mentor them in online business. So it kind of came full circle. I spent some time in college, and then came back when I became more of a graduate of, you know, college grad. I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? I started to really succeed in the online business space, and my parents were looking for some way that they could also supplement their income, retire early, things like that. And so I became their mentor in online business. And for really the last 15 years, we've worked very close together. Of course, my mom did pass away, so my dad still carries the torch for their business, and we work very closely. But those 12 years working with my mom, basically the last 12 years of her life, were so valuable. In fact, one of the years I won a trip to Ireland, all expense paid.
Wow.
And, so when you were telling me about Scotland, I was interested. You know,
Yeah.
this was a company trip, so we're talking about, like, we stayed in castles, like literally slept in castles. We saw all the stuff. It was like, you know, those trips you hear about, those dream trips that you can win. It was called the Growth 25. I was one of the fastest growers in our company that year, but I took my mom. So that was my kind of a way to, like, I don't know, like kind of a payback for being such a bad teenager. You know, I was able to take my mom and spoil her on this trip of a lifetime. I couldn't take two people because I would have took my mom and dad, but it was awesome to take my mom, you know, and then we got
amazing.
Special. And you never know, you don't know how long you have your parents. No one does, right? I mean, so make that time count when you have it, and make it a priority when you can. Because I didn't know that my mom was going to pass away from cancer at the age of 63. I mean, she was so healthy. She didn't smoke. She didn't do it, like any of those things. But now looking back, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I was able to do things with her like that, and was able to spend that time with her and spoil her a little bit later on in life. So yeah, so all you moms out there, keep the faith for your kids, especially if they're going through a hard time. Keep loving them, keep doing the best that you can, and remember, you are enough.
I love that, Jared. And especially, I was just going to say that, you know, especially being a mom, you know, that is huge, because I have, just like every mom out there, like you said, have some of that mom guilt. And it's so funny too, because my daughter and I were very close. We always have been. But as we progress in our relationship, we're becoming even more close, you know, all the time. So we talk about everything. And so sometimes every once in a while I'll say, you know, Jess, I wish I had done so and so differently, or this, you know, I wish I could have been better. And my daughter doesn't get it. She's like, Mom, what are you talking about? You were fantastic. So, you know, we as the mom always carry around what we didn't do right, but then our kids don't even remember half the stuff, you know. They're just like, Mom, you were there for me. You were great, you know. And I was like, okay, yes, you're right, right. So I'm starting to, like, you know, really, like you said, know that I was enough. I did what I could at that time. And so I think that's a beautiful message, Jared. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for saying that. You just kind of jogged my memory that, kids really don't remember details for the first 7, 8 years of their life. You
And
might
we can
have
make
mom
mistakes.
guilt about your, right. You might have mom guilt about your 3-year-old kid. They probably won't even remember any of it. But that whole concept, right, of guilt, it's very interesting. So yeah, the quicker you can let that go, the better. And
So
thank you for
who else
saying
can you
that.
tell? Yeah, who else is
Yes.
on your list there? Do you have like another person
Yeah.
on the list?
Yes. So my next big female mentor actually came at the age of 26, and I was just starting my online business. And part of what we do is we would meet people at that time, it was prior to Facebook and YouTube really being a thing. So we would meet people face to face, and we would talk about online business there. And I was going to meet this gentleman named Frank, and he didn't show up. And I'm at Starbucks in Denton, Texas. This is where I lived post college. And so there was this lady there typing on the computer. And I just was kind of intrigued by her. And I'm kind of outgoing like that. So I just kind of walked up to her and said, what are you doing? What are you typing? Like, I just was very curious. And she was very nice. She was like, oh, I'm typing my book. And she was writing this book called Listen to Your Whisper. It's by LaRue Eppler. And her name's LaRue Eppler. She's a motivational speaker. She speaks all over the world. She does muscle testing, which is a way to basically access higher consciousness and make decisions that are based on the highest good of humanity. Like it's really a fascinating thing. So I meet this lady, and I don't know what muscle testing is. I don't know really much about her. I just know she's like different. Something's different about her. And she basically, like, we just hit it off. And she was into The Secret. I don't know if people have heard of that. The Secret, it's a movie from around 2006. It talks about the law of attraction. So we started talking about The Secret, and we just became friends. And over that time, we would maybe meet for lunch, like maybe once every couple months. We would talk about law of attraction, we'd catch up. It was just like a friendship. And for that first year, I still didn't quite know the power of muscle testing or anything like that. But by the way, she still works. So you could look her up, LaRueEppler.com. And long story short, I went to some seminars where they gave me a book called Power versus Force. And I went to 4 seminars through Clemmer. It's called Clemmer. It's this different personal development company. But I spent about $10,000 to go through all 4 of the courses. Some of them you travel to San Diego, some of them you travel to LA, some of them you travel to Arizona. And on the very last one, it was like, here's this book, Power versus Force. And I read it, and I'm like, I get what LaRue does. I finally understand. And so I called her. I said, I want to be your client. Like, what do I got to do? Blah, blah, blah. So she started working with me and helping me make business decisions, helping me clear guilt, helping me clear blocks. There's a lot of the subconscious issues, worthiness issues, feelings that we have to clear in order to allow success into our life. And she basically helped me do all that to the point where I've been talking to her twice a month for 10 years. I still do sessions with LaRue. In fact, I did one yesterday. So we're like family at this point. She has mentored me from I guess officially 2009 was when I started working with her. So it's been over 10 years that she's been working with me. And now, of course, I brought my wife in on these sessions as well. So she knows Crystal. Me and Crystal have been married over 5 years, so about half of the time. But having a mentor like that, and not only in business, but I could come to her and talk to her about whatever was going on. I remember when I was dating, I had a couple girls I was talking to, and I had I said, LaRue, I want to muscle test which girl I should focus on, because which girl's gonna match for the highest good. And Crystal tested like a 10 out of 10. It was Crystal. So it helped me decide and focus on that person, right? And so that's turned into a great marriage, very happy marriage, But muscle testing is another topic for maybe another day. Maybe you can have LaRue Eppler on this show. Actually, that'd probably be the best thing.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing. And long story short, though, a lot of the muscle testing is about how making the right decisions, right? It's kind of like why guess when you can know. And it's like another level of gut instinct, right? Because sometimes you feel like you should go somewhere and you do it. Some things that you don't need to muscle test. You just know you should do it. Other things, it's like, I'm not sure which way would be best. For those questions, that's what muscle testing is the best for. So,
Interesting. Okay.
needless to say, LaRue Eppler has totally impacted my entire life. I mean, literally all my business decisions, personal decisions, results, and she's really like a second mom to me. So shout out to you, LaRue. I hope you come on to Girls Guide to Greatness.
Yes.
All of these ladies can come on to Girls Guide to Greatness. I got more. Okay, so
yes.
Let's do the next one. Dani Johnson. That's a woman. DANI. DaniJohnson.com.
Oh, I'm familiar with this one. This is the financial guru.
Yes. So Dani Johnson is again someone who's still working in this today, and she made her first million in network marketing in the online business space that I'm currently in. And she was exposed to me within my company. And the thing about Dani Johnson is that she's not affiliated with any particular company. She's more of a personal growth and development coach. So the things that she teaches would apply to everybody. So if you want to pay off all your debt, she has a great program called War on Debt. If you want to have a better marriage, she actually has a program on that. If you want to learn the personality styles, she has a program on that. And she has a weekend seminar called First Steps to Success. And so I'm in the middle of my online business journey. I'm about 6 years in at this point, okay? So I started in 2006. Now it's 2012. Me and my wife, we were not married. We were dating. And we were not doing too well, I would say, also because we were clashing a lot. You know how sometimes couples, they fight and they have their issues. So really, we are total different personality styles. I'm the emerald green personality, which is very detailed, very organized, very methodical. And she's the blue personality, the sapphire, which is more fun focused, inspiration, not necessarily discipline, but she brings the fun into it all. Okay. Now she has discipline too, but that's her strength is fun, right? So I was expecting her to be like me. And she was, I don't know what she was expecting, but I thought she was, some things like needed to be changed. Okay. And that was creating stress in the relationship. So we get exposed to Dani Johnson, and I'm like, we went together. That's like the best thing you can do if you're married or if you are dating someone, is go to seminars as a couple. All right. If you get an opportunity to go to a personal growth and development seminar and you're married or you have a significant other, like just ask them to go with you and just let's grow together. Me and Crystal went together and we realized these things, right? We learned about the personality styles, and I learned that the main thing that I needed to stop was to stop telling her what to do. Okay.
Wow, that seems pretty smart.
Yeah, because that would close her off, right? And actually, what I needed to do is whenever she does something that's like good, I would need to praise that and like make more of a big deal about that. And so and then she also learned how to like talk to me in the ways that would help me also feel like respected or heard and things like that. So like we're talking about skills. What?
Oh, so Jared, it almost seems very similar. It sounds very similar to the 5 love languages almost, where you talk about like how to talk to each other in a specific way. Is that what you're kind of hinting towards a little bit, or no?
The 5 love languages is also important, but they're different than what we learned at Now the different characteristics, they're called gems, and it's a whole nother topic. But there's 4 personality traits. There are 4 personality styles, and everybody has one is their dominant, and then one is a secondary. And you want to try and become balanced, so you could like talk to all 4 personality styles. The number one is called Ruby, red. It's very money motivated, very driven. Their powers are being leaders, but their weakness is they work too hard that they burn themselves out. So that's a red, that's a ruby. An emerald is what I am.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, you're probably a red, you're probably ruby. I'm a green, I'm an emerald, but I'm actually very close to ruby as well. That's detail oriented. They're
Oh,
very
okay.
good at they're very good at the books. They're very good at details. Their strength is wisdom, making good choices, but their weakness is analysis by paralysis. They try and analyze too much. They don't take any action. So that would be their weakness. The third one is the sapphire, which is my wife, which is more fun motivated. She wants to have fun. But then the weakness is follow through, and follow through in whatever they're working on. Maybe they start things, they don't finish things, right? So, but that's everyone has, they're all about helping and loving and being there for people. So their strength is really compassion and love and being there. But their weakness is they let people walk all over them sometimes, right? Like they do too much, and then maybe they lend out money and they don't get paid back, or things like that, which a pro would do.
Okay, so that fourth one, sorry, you had broke up just a little bit, but the fourth one is the pearl, and that's the one that. Okay, gotcha.
Loving, yes. So that's different than the 5 love languages, although they could mesh. But the whole point of that, this mentor, Dani Johnson, is that literally I've paid off all my debt from Dani Johnson. I have a happy, thriving marriage that I can communicate with my wife well because of the things I learned at Dani Johnson. I have a very successful business with scripts that duplicate because of the things I learned from Dani Johnson. So, I mean, and I haven't actually gone to one of her seminars for 4 years. So, I mean, like, that's a pretty big impact. And now I really kind of take that legacy and pass it on to my own team as well. So, yeah, so when talking about a female mentor, I mean, Dani Johnson's phenomenal. So,
That is
big shout out.
amazing. Yes, I love that. And I'm huge into mentors as well, Jared. I believe in the power of mentors, of the power of coaching, just because they've made such a huge impact on my life. And now I get to do, like you said, pass the torch. Now I get to help others because there are other people out there that used to be where you and I were, still just starting out, learning what to do, what not to do. And how awesome is it that we can come in as coaches and mentors and actually cut some of that learning time down a little bit, maybe drastically, because we can, like you said, you have those winning scripts, you know what to do, you know the pitfalls to avoid, and you can really help that person in front of you go further. What I always love to say, go further faster. So I absolutely love that.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, it's true. And think about all the years of training that our mentors have cut off for us as well. So it continues, and it just is a great legacy, because everybody has to go through their own lessons, right? But if a mentor can save you years of time, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
I have had a lot of men mentors as well. Of course, this show is all about female mentors, so I probably had half. But my next mentor I want to share is more of a mentee, because sometimes the people that you train and you grow and help in one area can also become your mentors in another area.
Absolutely.
So one of my mentees that has really become a mentor also is Ann Knoblauch. And she is somebody that I actually brought into the online business space. And, it's all done on Facebook and Instagram these days. And we connected we were strangers that became friends on Facebook. We met at a different personal growth development conference on A Course in Miracles. So that's my other thing is always go to different conferences. When you get opportunities to go to like a weekend seminar, just do it. And if you're in a position where like maybe you're in some industry and they have a weekend seminar or a training, do it. Always go and travel and get these experiences when you can. So I met Sue-Ann at this. We were pretty much total strangers. We met once, but we became friends on Facebook. So that's the other thing. It's like making those new friends and adding them to your Facebook or whatever. So then she proceeded to watch me on Facebook Lives for like 6 months. And when I put out content, I'm not even selling my product. I am just giving value all the time. Value, just like Girl Guide to Greatness, just value. So she reached out to me and said, I want to know more about what you do with online business. And so our relationship began that way. But over the last 2 years, she has taught me so much with regards to like a Course in Miracles, which is a different training program. And it's about like basically eliminating the ego, okay? Waking up from the dream, transcending the ego, all of these things. she has helped me so much on certain parts of A Course in Miracles, maybe things that I didn't understand or things that I was personally struggling with. And it's nice that I could talk to somebody, because not everybody knows that language or knows that concept. And not only
Right.
that, she's already very, very successful in the stock market. She has real estate. She's got all kinds of things going on outside of online business. So she's also mentoring me in that. She actually helped me create my own stock portfolio, and like all these things. She's become like a best friend to my wife as well. Like we're all just such great friends. And so the value of not only being a mentor to somebody, but then having the mentees come into your life, that many also teach you some of the greatest things that really impact your life and add so much richness to your life. So shout out to Ann Knoblauch, my dear friend and partner in business. So that's probably like the
Oh, I
last one
love
I
that.
want to talk about in that you never know if it's going to be the mentee or the mentor. But yeah, sometimes the people you bring in become your best teachers.
Jared, I love that, because what I've noticed recently is that as I've been building up with this Girls Guide to Greatness podcast and bringing amazing people on the show like yourself, I'm learning so much, from all these individuals. And guess what? I'm actually starting collaborations with a lot of them after the fact, because we are a very, on the same page, very like-minded. We're reaching for those same kinds of goals in our lives and in our businesses. And so it's opened me up to, like you said, the networking part of it is absolutely tremendous. I'm loving every second, and I'm getting able to work with these different people in different aspects of business as well. And I'm learning different things along the way. So like you're learning, about your profile, your stocks and bonds and all this other stuff that you're getting into with your portfolios and stuff. I think that's fantastic. And what a great way to be able to put yourself in this position of what I call circulation, where you're actually giving out, but you're also receiving. And then to me, when you can create those win-win relationships, like you cannot fail. I love it. Absolutely.
Yes. You're so right. That's what it's all about. It's just getting in the game. If you're sitting on the sidelines, if you've been waiting on that business idea, or somebody's invited you to partner with them in an online business, do it. Take the jump of faith. Get involved. Go for it and have fun, and find those people that are successful at it and ask them for guidance. Ask them for help. And if you can hire them, hire them. If you can go to a webinar or go to a weekend seminar once everything opens back up, go and watch what happens. You live such a rich, exciting life.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is the way I love to put it, because I've, just like you, I've invested thousands of dollars in my personal development. But the thing is, though, I don't look at it as I'm just, wasting money or anything. To me, it's like I'm investing on this huge return on investment, my ROI. And really not just in my investment for my money, but an investment on my time, my relationships, my love. Like it impacts me on such a deep level, on every level of my life. To me, money you can get back anytime, but to become more wise, more loving, more compassionate, to become smarter in business and in finance, I mean, that to me is huge. And I'm willing to pay just about any price, right, to get further in life and design the life I truly desire, and to help others do the same thing. So I do not hesitate in investing in a good coach, or investing in a good course or program, or like you said, even a seminar, because it's going to come back to you 100-fold.
100%. Very well said. That is truth. And that's the best advice to anybody watching.
Yes. So, Jared, thank you so much. The last thing I want to ask you is, how can people find you? So they've listened to you. You come out here and you said, you know what? I love working with people. I love helping people make money in life and online, in their online business. And they want to get started with the mentor. How can they reach out to you? How can they find you? Are you doing any kind of groups out there that they can get into? What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm available at Jared Krebs, right how my name is spelled, on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the main two. I do have a YouTube channel under that name as well, but I'm not using it as much yet. I have another YouTube channel called Living A Course in Miracles, which is more about A Course in Miracles if you're into that. And that's actually a freaking awesome YouTube channel. We got like 1,300 subscribers, and we're, it's crazy what that group's done and grown to. So that's my YouTube presence, is more on A Course in Miracles. But specifically about business and connecting that way, it would be more Facebook and Instagram, Jared Krebs.
Okay, that is awesome. I'm so excited for you and your success on YouTube. That sounds amazing. And I just want to congratulate you, Jared, because I've seen you grow. I know we haven't kept in touch as much, but I've seen you on social media and you have come a long way. You and your wife, Crystal, I remember Crystal way back, even before you guys were married. So you guys have done so many amazing things. You become debt free, like you said. You're crushing it. You're basically leading from the front and you're showing people that they can change their life too. And if they really want to make things happen, they can. That is the message here. You just got to want it. You got to change your thinking. You got to go after it. I love that message. I love having you on my show. You want to sign us off for the day, Jared?
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
My last piece of advice is just to find a mentor. Whatever you're doing right now, whatever goals that you have, figure out who is the best at that. And especially if you resonate, make sure you have good, friendship or good vibes with each other. And if it feels right, then go for it. Ask to be mentored, hire a mentor, do whatever you can to get a mentor, and then just follow exactly what they say. When they say do something a certain way, do it exactly that way to the best of your ability. Because the more you impress your mentor, they're going to say, oh, I like this person. I want to put more time into them because they actually do what I say. There's so many people they actually coach and many don't do it. So if you're one that does it, now they identify you as one of the best. You'll get more time. You'll get more attention. You'll get all the things you need to take to the next level. And so that's my biggest advice is find a great mentor.
That is beautiful. I couldn't have said it any better. Jared, you have been a delight to have on the show. I'm sure that the listeners out there and the viewers are learning so much from this, and we want to wish you guys the best as well. So reach out to Jared. I'm going to have all his information in the show notes. Make sure you see the replay on YouTube and listen to us on iTunes and Spotify, Girls Guide to Greatness. And Jared, thank you so much once again for being on the show. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Rebecca.
All right,
Really.
guys. We'll see you. Yes, we'll see everybody on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.